Hey, everybody. I am Stacey Sims, the host of Diabetes Connections, a weekly podcast providing information and inspiration with a focus on people who use insulin. And this is In the News, a new short newscast full of the top diabetes news of the past week. The goal here is to get you up to speed quickly and with good information. And I need to let you know that Diabetes Connections in the News is brought to you by Inside the Breakthrough, a new history of science podcast full of did you know stuff. So let's jump right in. In the news this week, a big recall from Novo Nordisk. They're voluntarily recalling nearly 1,500 product samples because they were stored at the wrong temperature. Now, this recall is only for insulin samples, not for the insulin you get at the pharmacy or through mail order services, but it covers Levemir, Tresiba, Fiasp, Novolog, and Zoltify. I will have a link in the comments and in the show notes with all of the information with the batch numbers and the lot numbers to look for. Side note, we just got Tresiba samples for the very first time from my son's endo, so good timing there. I am going to make sure to check that batch number. You should receive a notice from your doctor if you have any of this insulin, but there is a phone number to call to check and a way to report to the FDA as well. Again, link in the comments here on Facebook after the broadcast and in the show notes if you're listening to the podcast. Bigfoot Biomedical gets a big FDA approval for its Unity diabetes management system. This is a connected pen system where the insulin pens, both long and short acting, take data from a Libre 2 continuous glucose monitor and give insulin dosing instructions. You'll get current glucose numbers as well as any recommended correction doses. The system also provides reminders for the long-acting pen and provides low blood sugar notification. It was cleared for people ages 12 and up with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. You'll recall Bigfoot was founded back in 2014 to create a commercial version of an existing DIY hybrid closed-loop pump system. Now, that apparently is still in the works under the autonomy label. I'm working to talk to Bigfoot probably in the next week or so to catch up and get an update on all of those programs. Well, it looks like the company BD, after nearly a century, will be spinning off its diabetes care business. The split is expected to be complete in the first half of 2022, after which the segment will become a completely separate, publicly traded company, tentatively dubbed NewCo. A lot of business news in diabetes this week. Let's talk about Eli Lilly, new deal with them and 4 diabetes management companies integrating the not yet released Tempo Pen and Tempo Smart Button products. The companies that signed with Lilly here are Dexcom, Gluco, MyDiabe Healthcare, and Roche's MySugar. MyDiabe is French. I am sure I have pronounced it wrong. But these agreements are all about integrating with software platforms, and they allow for the collection and sharing of personal health data. Tandem's latest earning call in just a moment. But first, let's take a very quick break while I tell you about one of the sponsors that helps make Diabetes Connections in the News possible. Inside the Breakthrough is a podcast that explores the idea of a eureka moment. It's historical wisdom mixed with modern insight. It's a little bit history show, a little bit science show. There's a lot of humor. I really enjoy this podcast. The latest episode talks about Dr. Banting and the discovery of insulin. They've covered Galileo. They've talked about snake oil, really snake oil. This had information about the discovery of insulin that I had never heard. Listen to Inside the Breakthrough wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, in the news right now, we want to get you back and caught up to Tandem's earning call. They had their first quarter earnings call last week. A couple of highlights. They have submitted a few new features to the FDA. They're waiting on approval. First, waiting for the update to the Control-IQ algorithm. We've heard about that before. They say it will allow for more personalization, possibly different ranges. Second is the mobile bolus. We call that bolus by phone around here. They got some response from the FDA in March, but this, like many projects, is delayed because of COVID. Tandem's CEO, John Sheridan, says, quote, "We're no longer planning for our Q2, second quarter, clearance, but we will be working to bring this highly sought after feature to market as quickly as possible. It is still expected, bolus by phone, before the end of this year." Now, T Sport, we also asked, that was also asked about during the earnings call. Sheridan would not give a specific date on that, but when pressed, he said probably a commercial release in summer of 2022. So the T Sport has been pushed back. For parents of young children, Tandem has started a study of Control IQ with toddlers as young as 2 years old. And finally, some prominent athletes with type 1 diabetes are speaking up about COVID vaccines and trying to urge people to get them. Indy driver Charlie Kimball did a PSA for the Indiana Department of Health. I'll link up that short video. And NHL player Max Domi spoke out at a media avail. This quote was tweeted out by reporter Bailey Johnson. And you can see right there that Max said, "I will never forget the feeling I got after having the vaccine, just a sense of relief and freedom. As soon as I got it, it was like the world was lifted off my shoulders. Once I did that, the game took off. I felt better about myself and was just enjoying life a lot more. Diabetes or not, it freed me up a lot. And I'm thankful I had the opportunity to get it when I did." And that is Diabetes Connections in the news for this week. Now, I'm going to keep doing this on Wednesdays for the month of May and see what the response is. So far, I've been really thrilled. I've heard from a lot of you who like it. If you like it, please share it. And feel free to send me your news tips, Stacey at diabetes-connections.com. Please join me wherever you get your podcasts for our next episode that is coming up on Tuesday. We'll be talking about the importance of keeping insulin at the right temperature during the hot weather, not related to that Novo recall I told you about today, but definitely timely as the weather's warming up. Thank you so much for watching. Again, full podcast episodes on Tuesdays in the news will be live every Wednesday here on Facebook during the month of May and beyond if there's interest. And then you can watch it again on YouTube and it will be a podcast episode in just a day or so. Thank you so much. I'm Stacey Sims.